Anybody on? Oh, Gersh Davidson. Okay. Oh, Sean Gershon, counting the days to see you. Glad you stopped coming on. What? Think so. Toby? Think so. Gershon's coming back. What? Toby, yeah? Okay.
Waiting until it's 70 degrees here.
Yeah, it's absurd. Good to know it, though. Have a long daf. Easy daf. Long and easy daf. With Abel's hilf. What's tonight? Chav Zion Shvat. Chav Zion Shvat. Yeah, soon as Chodesh Hadar coming up. And next, I'm at Shabbos, I'm planning to go to England. My brother's making chassid Sunday night. Overnight and then back Monday. David's hilf. Yeah, I went, yeah. Don't go to every chassid. His brother's son got divorced. Okay, so we're talking about a biological question, which Dovi will ask soon. Well, how can you have a shayla about a biological question? Right? There was,
Science question?
Science question. Can a cotton have a child? Is a cotton able to have a child? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. No, it can't necessarily be mazria, sperm that will produce a child. When nowadays? What's nowadays?
I don't know what's nowadays. I'm just saying sometimes you see this.
Yeah, a lot of times, a lot of things in Shas can see us change. There's Tanya Tivim, but here's the interesting shayla. I mean, we can't prove this. Make a survey. But says the Gemara. Here. The Rabba cotton elamoiled. So the Mishnah said that you could have a cotton, a ben soyer moira. That's a father. That's a father already. He has a son that is rebelling. That's not like Rabba here. Samachesed Beis. Damarabba cotton elamoiled. Her cotton can't have a child. Shnema im eile ishgoyel. The pasuk says we did this. Or eile ishgoyel, a ger that dies without Yorishim goes to the Kohanim. So we're saying yesh adam bisrosh eile goyel. Is there anybody in Klal Yisrael doesn't have goyel? Ela b'gez lager kos medaber. It's talking about gez lager. V'am rachmana ish. Only by ish you have to look and analyze and make sure there's no Yorishim. But if it's a child, love cotton iater don't have to look why. Yeah, that's what we learned yesterday. So that price holds a child under the age of ish, under the age of a mitzvah, cannot possibly have children. It says okay, let's go and discuss this. We're at the noy 90 minutes. Steht a pasuk, the gabe shivcha charufa. Ish ki yishkav es isha shichva zera. A man that will boil a woman shichva zera. Says the Brisa. Ish. Eile ish bente. Eile ish. You only know a man. Bentesh shon of yemechad shroila biminayin. How do you know to include a child of 9 that is also be considered that the woman is over the avera of shivcha charufa, wherever the pshat shivcha charufa is. Tamid loima va'ish. Va'ish. Tamid va'ish. Yeah. Tamid va'ish. So you see that he can do a beer. You can see there could be a beer with a cotton 9 years old. And with the Gemara, Amalei, yesh lo ve'ena moiled. This is what we said. He can have a beer, but he can't give birth. Can't have children. That's what we're saying. Ketvua shlehevia shlish. Like tvua that didn't grow a third. That means you have tvua that only grew less than a third of its potential. Then this tvua, you can put it back into the ground, but nothing will grow. It's not strong enough. It's not ripe enough. It's not developed enough to be able to cause growth. So the same will apply with this bentes. You have this kid of a bentes. He will not be able to do a beer, but it's not developed enough to have a child, like we said. Says the Gemara. Another pasuk. This is an interesting one. Pasuk says in Pashas Mishpatim, "V'chiyazid ish al re'eu laharga ba'arma." So we say yazid means ish mezid umazriya. An ish can be a mezid, and we're saying mezid means mazriya. Mazriya means you can have sperm that mazriya seeds into the woman. Pasuk talk about something else, but with using this pasuk. Ve'en cotton mezid mazriya. Chiyazit ish. In order to be a mazriya, what do they say? Bar mitzvah. Ish is bar mitzvah. Ish is always the age of bar mitzvah. Amar Matchel Rashi, Mechtes. Where does yazid mean? They are sperm. My mashma the high mezid lishna the beshulehu. Where do you get it from? That mezid means lishna of cooking. The sperm cooks. The chsiv says in the pasuk by yazid Yaakov nazid. Says in the pasuk yazid Yaakov nazid, which means that Yaakov cooked. So you see, yazid is a lashon of cooking. So when it says mezid yazid ish, means a ish is necessary in order to be mazriya, in order to cook. And it cooks in the beitzim, as it cooks the sperm. That's not by cotton. Therefore, you can't have a child. Yazidish. Freddy Mora, but Tanat Verim Shmol. Tanat Verim Shmol says Ben V'Layav. A new drasha. A Ben Saira Moira is only a Ben Saira Moira if he is a Ben. If he is a father, he is not considered a Ben Saira Moira. Ben V'Layav. Ben V'Layav, says the Gemara, how can a Ben Saira Moira be a father? He can't have a child. His wife or a woman can't become pregnant for him until his bar mitzvah. 13 to 13 and 3 months. Maybe. So how could he be a bar mitzvah? How could he be a father? So it's more, why not? 1 second. That's the Gemara is going to make the calculations. Ben if this woman became pregnant after he brought shtei saros, and he gave birth before he grew enough hair of a zaken, which is basically 3 months. How much time do we have? We're very limited. How much time are we giving this Ben Saira Moira to become a Ben Saira Moira? We only have, what do we have? Amar of Chris Bidoi, Kal Yamav Ben Saira Moira, Eine Ella Gimel Chadashim Levad. It's only 3 months. It's only 3 months. Why? That's max. A bar mitzvah boy, after 13 or 13 months, he is he's no longer without a sabbath test. No longer possible to be a Ben Saira Moira. No longer possible to be a Ben Saira Moira after 3 months. No. If that's the case, so he can't be a father. How can a Ben Saira Moira be a father? How do you have a Metzias if you have to wait to bar mitzvah to be mazriya? Yazidish. So how, if so, do you have a case that this Ben Saira Moira can be a father? It's scientifically impossible. El alav must be alav the Abba Mekamed the later Shtesaris. Elamai, yeah. He has the ability to cause a isha to become muberes before he brings Shtesaris. Va'oiled Mekamed the Leikim Zakin. And he'll give birth before he gets a Zakin. Ushma Manor, if that's the case, Ravaraya, cotton moiled. I mean, moiled means not gives birth. Moiled means can make a woman pregnant. Can cause a woman to conceive. Must be. Says the Gemara, no, disagree. Why? Who told you that in order to be considered a father, there has to be a birth? Doesn't have to be a birth. La'olam diaba basad eishe saris. La'olam became Beis after he brought shtei saris. Va'oiled basad akiv zakin, and he gave birth after the akiv zakin. No, how's this going to work? The woman only became Beis, only became pregnant after he became 13. The later was 9 months later. So, yeah, it was a Maria. Very good. But the Kashalach, the Reb Chris Bedoy, you have a Kasha Reb Chris Bedoy, doesn't stem. Says the Gemara, as Reb Dimi Amar, Amri B'Marava, Ben, V'loi Haroi L'Kroisei Av. We say a Ben Soira Moira, not if he is eligible to be considered a father. Says Rashi, that means after 3 months of pregnancy, he is called a father of this Uber. He's called a father of the Uber. Who said he has to be born to be a father? When does the name father become? Yeah. Right? There's Rashi. All right. Shrolis Obanika, first white line. My Baal Isha. Yeah, she can become embarrassed, and he can be considered the father. Very important Gemara this Gemara. So now we're learning a whole new drasha, a whole new understanding. We're not talking about a certain case. You know when he can be a Ben Saira Moira? Only within 3 months. More than 3 months after his Bar Mitzvah, he's not a Ben Saira Moira because then he is potentially able to be considered a father because he could have caused this woman to conceive the day he became Bar Mitzvah. 3 months later, she is pregnant in a way of Hukah Ubra. The child is called a child, Chiddush, and then he's called a father. Here a Chiddush. Now this is a very important Gemara because it's a big shaila in the Poskim. When is a father called a father? When's a mother called a mother? You have any eyes for this, Domi? You used to say in yeshivas that you're supposed to start learning Masechtas Megillah, Shmisha Asa B'Shvat, and you finish it for Purim. So remember? It used to be such a project. The Gemara says, Eshta Malka, ki ein la av ve'im. She never had a father, mother. Says, right, what did Rashi say? The father died right after the mother became pregnant. The mother died right after birth. So there is a Torah from Shminarov, others, see from Rashi, the status of a father is right away. It's called a father right after the woman becomes pregnant. Because why he died right after? So he died before she was born. So it's the father's contribution. What the father contributes, he's done. So as long as you become pregnant, fall out of the picture. So he's called a father then. A mother, it's called a mother after the birth. That gives a Shem mother. That's Medrash in Rashi. It's Nafkamina. Nafkamina for a few things. One Nafkamina is Kivega's Kasha. Kivega asks a very interesting question. If a person's wife is Mu'beres and the old Uber, Yerech Imoy, then why are you not worried that this should be a Issa to be Baal Ishtoi, should be considered Baal Bitoi? Because there's a daughter of there. Like the Gemara says this concept in Shas, right? If there's an Uber and there was a beer, we look at the beer was to the child. If you're Kivega Kash. Kivega's Kash. What? Why not? The Gemara's Kla it is. Gemara's Kla, like the marshal, if it's called I don't know the case, Paraduma. The child tells a beer to the mother. If you called Ubi Yerchimo, it's called a beer to the child. So Kivega is based on Kairos that it's called beer to the child. So why is it not called Baal Bitoi? Near the Kash of Kivega. So if Kivega wants to be done, maybe he's not called a father until the baby's born. Who said it's called a father? I didn't look it up. I'm not sure if Kivega brings this Gemara. This Gemara's Claw, the Shem Tata comes at 3 months. There's not anymore. There's another Kivega in your Deis with Pei Zion. Now, I don't remember the full of Kivega. Pei Zion, there's in Hilchas Basa B'Chalav, the first simon. Kivega also talks about this idea about when does the Shem father kick in? When's the father? When's it called the father? No. That's the Meshach says the reason why Bechor gets Pishnaim, he made the person be considered a father. He gave him a Shem father. Right. That's alumnus. So therefore, when that happens?
So according to all this, the scenario would be possibly his boil on his
Bar Mitzvah day, yeah.
And
Shtei Saras.
the last day of his possible being inside our mother, it's not liquor pregnancy.
No, that's what we say. That's why after 3 months, he's not the Ben Saramura. That's what we're saying. No, that's what we're changing the drasha. We change the drasha is not if he is pregnant. Every time after 3 months, then the child can't become a Ben Saramura because potentially he could be a father. We're changing it. We're changing the drasha. The Ben Saramura is only for 3 months. Why? After 3 months, he is then considered a potential father. Right, tomorrow I don't understand. Sorry, I don't understand. Gufa, Amr Chris Bedoy, Amr Shapsi, Kalyabov Shaben Sayer Moyer. All the time of Ben Sayer Moyer is only Eina Ella, Gimach Hadosh Bavad, is only 3 months. Vanantanan, Mishavi, Shtei Saret, Achiakim Zakenek Zakein. We learned from the Beis, it's till he gets a Zakein. Is it 3 months or is it when he brings Zakein? Says the Gemara, Hikiv Zakin, there's two Shiurim. To either or. Hikiv Zakin, Afagav Leimada Gibel Chadash. Either he has a Zakin, even without 3 months. Mada Gibel Chadashim, Afagav Lehikiv Hikiv. Good. Says the Gemara, Yosef, Reb Yaakov in our pocket, Kamar Vina. That's good. So there's two requirements. Has to be within 3 months. And if it'll bring a lot of Saras Puan, even before 3 months, he won't be considered a Ben Soire Moira anymore. Says the Gemara Gufa, Amr of Chris Bedoy, Amr of Shabsi, Kalyom, good, sorry. Reb Yaakov in our pocket. The Heilige Reb Yaakov from a place called our pocket, he sat, Kamar Deravina. Yosef Kamar Meshpeder of Huna Breder of Shua. Shma Mina, you want to hear some lumnus? We have a right for Reb Chris Bedoy that says that it takes 3 months for an Uber to become recognized. And that's why a Ben Soire Moira is only within the first 3 months, not beyond that. Good? Good. Why 3 months? The pregnancy is 9 months. You could say it's a third of the pregnancy. After a third of the pregnancy, what do they call it? Third semester, they call it? What? Trimester, right? Trimester. Right. The first trimester. Now, what about, in those days, the days of the Gemara, used to be 2 types of pregnancies. There was a pregnancy of 9 months and a pregnancy of 7 months. It was a different pregnancy. Not the baby was born early. That's what it was. Chazal, that's what it was. 2 types of pregnancies. There's 2 types of babies. There's a Ben Zayin and a Ben Tesha. We don't have it nowadays. We're not aware of that. Now, when a woman's having a baby and it's got of a Ben Shiva, 7 months pregnancy, when is that fetus, when is that Uber Nicker? When is that Uber Nicker? Do we say like this? Like a 9-month pregnancy is Nicker after 3 months, which is a third, so maybe a third of 7 will be the time when the baby is Nicker. What's a third of 7? Third of 7 will be 2 1/3, correct? 2 1/3, right? You hear the lumdus. Maybe that baby, that Uber, will be noticeable at 2 1/3 months. What? Says the Gemara. Go for Amr Chris Bedoy. Says the Gemara. So he said you have arrived from here from the fact that we say a Ben Soire Moira is only for is 3 months. You have a raya. Yeledet l'shiva ain't over nika l'shlishimel. A baby that's about 7 months pregnancy, it's not noticeable a third. It's not 2 months and a third of a month. No, it's also 3 months. What's a raya? If you'll say the Uber is nika a third of a days, Lamadi Gimel. Why Gimel? Betray, Batilsa Sagir. That'd be 2 months and a third. Should be enough. And a Mizaraya, no such thing. A Uber is never nicker prior to 3 months full. I'm gonna know Ryan. I'll tell you no. Uber nicker maybe I'll tell you Uber nicker a third of the days. So why do we say that Ben Soire Moira is 3 months? Zilbas Aruba. Most pregnancies are 9 months type of pregnancies. 9 months type of pregnancies. So if you have a drasha, Ben Valayav, you go with a roiv. I'm Ruah Kamer of Huna Breder of Shua. I'm gonna understand you. Go with a roiv, you're gonna kill a guy, you're gonna kill a kid based on roiv. We tried to save this kid. Don't try to kill him. Go with a roiv. Says the Gemara, Amalei, if didn't the fascist, Mizdina Bas Rubba, you go with a roiv. Torah Amra, a Shafte Eid of Tzilei. Torah says you have to save him and you have to protect him. You have to try everything in your power to get him off the hook. No, that Amr is Dilbat Ruba. You say you go with Saroiv. Says more Adrura Kama Dravina. Amrei. If Dina the fascist like Dina Bas Ruba. Interesting Gemara coming up. When you have Roiv, is Roiv strong enough to kill somebody? Is Roiv strong enough to kill somebody? Is it? I'll prove to you. But Roiv. Maybe Roiv is written in stone. Says the Gemara, Vatanan. 1:8 says the murder took place the 2nd day of the month. And 1 says it's on the 3rd day of the month. We say it was a kiyamas. We say, come on. They talk about the same story and everything's matching up. They're contradicting themselves. One is saying second day of the month, one says the third day of the month. So what do you think they listened by when they said their Scottish mentioned? Yeah? They're busy with a tune, trying to find when to say the Amines, it's complicated. You're concentrating that, didn't they? You're Scottish, yeah. What they're Scottish? They don't, nobody remembers when you're Scottish, How many days are Scottish this year was Kislev? Go ask me. How many days are Scottish? People don't remember. So they don't keep track. Therefore, he says, there you're there by Buddhist Scottish. One knows that last month was 2 days of Scottish, which means it was an Uber. Like we're going to have now Shabbat, right? We're going to have Friday Shabbos, Scottish, correct? Did we say Shabbos? Said Shabbos, yeah. There you're there by Buddhist Scottish. But there ain't there, and this one doesn't know. Says if he eats al Kedat. Okay, that's what therefore we save the Eidos and we kill the person. Because most people, they don't know calculations. Then if you don't know about Saruba, I mean, we're trying to save the guy at all costs. So why are you emphating? What's giving you the right to for the Eidim in order to kill the person? Name a Hane Dafke, Kommissari. Maybe they're being Dafke. Makrusha who the kom Makrishi Adadi, and they're being Makrish each other. Elalavish and the Rina, and they're saying Zilba Saruba, and they go Saroy. Saruba the Inshi of the toy. Most people make a mistake. So we have a Cheskas Eidim. Most people make a mistake. The toy be Burti Yarch. Says the Gemara. Amr B'Yamim Difti. Therefore you have a raya. Hear the Gemara. Go Saroy. Now we asked the Kasha this morning about the Shiur, and others also asked, what's going on in this whole Gemara? Basar Roiv is a whole sugi in Chulin. We have a raya that you kill a person with Roiv, but maybe it's a treifa. There's other rayas. Why the Gemara doesn't bring those rayas here? Remember the Gemara. Every Rotzeach that kills somebody, how do you kill him? Maybe the Nirtzach had a hole in his lungs. How do you know? Anyway, go Basar Roiv. Looks like looking for a different type of Roiv over here, which I have to know which one it is. Amar Rabbi Yem Difta after Navatanina. Another ride, you go with Roy. A girl, 3-year-old girl, that's old enough to be Kedusha Babia. The Bale Yavam Kana. Bale Yavam's Kana. The Chayavin Alem Shtish. 3 years is an age that a girl reaches a level of maturity at Kedubia. Kimekadasha with Bia. If a Yavam does Bia with her, it's Kana. But Chayavin Alem Shtish. She became an Eishes Ish. She became an absolute Eishes Ish, and anybody's boiler will be killed. Tamas boiler, if she is a nidder, she'll be Tamas boiler. The Tamas Mishkan Tacht Kelly. Yeah, the boil which will be sleeping on a blanket. The bottom one, the top one, all be Tame, like a real boil nidder. And this is this list is a list of halachas that apply by a woman that's called a real bia. That's what we're trying to emphasize. It's a real bia. This is Lakoyan, Shemar Takoyan, 100% marriage, Kinei Truma, Bale Echel Min Absulim. If somebody, apostle, a person's Bale, apostle Min Akuna, she passes from the Kuna. When Bale Echel Mikala Royas, Muris Batoira, any of the Royas, let's say, which are Royas? Relatives. Any of the relatives, a father, grandfather. Mumsun Alea, they'll get killed. She is considered a full-fledged 100% erva, and she'll be called the Eishes Ish too. She's Eishes too. The Hipatura, she obviously is off the hook. She obviously won't be punished. She is a little girl. She's not a Bas Einshin. She's Potter. Hipatura, she's Potter. Good? What's the worst kasha going to be? Freddie Mara, go Einish kasha. You don't go Basaroi, Freddie Mara. Amai. Ema Elan Nisi. Maybe. Why do you say if someone marries her, she's called the Eishes Ish to the extent that you will kill boiled? She's the Eishes Ish. Really? She's the Eishes Ish. Somebody was Makadasha, or the father was Makadasha, she's the Eishes Ish. Somebody's Baalea, that man will get Misa. Friday Gemara, why? Maybe she does not have the ability to have children. Maybe she's an islandess. Different type of Mekach Tos. There's no marriage. Like sorry, man. Yeah, no. What are you asking?
She gets married at 12.
Same kasha, yeah. Same kasha. What? Yeah, it's free. It's free. Suffer. Keep in jail, what?
I don't know. You're not going to know.
And why Ish? A girl, yeah, when you have a ride at an Ish should not be considered the Ish until she's 20 or whatever. And we don't take into consideration such small study. The chances that she's an idleness is so small, you go with a roiv. Roiv women are not idleness. Baruch Hashem. Idleness is a problem. So Baruch Hashem, the Amish makes the nature of most people are not idle. If they are, then sorry, Mainu was, but it's not a gay. If you don't go with a roiv, you want to always try and find, maybe be the maybe guy, always questioning to this concrete absolute that it's going to be she's going to be potus. Why are you killing her? Why are you killing her? Am I in this? Maybe it's in this. But I died the hachi like kaddish, and he wasn't kaddish. I died she's an idleness. Elamai elalav the rinon zil basaruba. Elamai can we go basaroiv? Roiv noshiv lav islands ninu. Elamai you go basaroiv. And most women are not islanders. Most women are islanders. You're right, go basaroiv. Says the Gemara no raya. Who said? You know what we talk about? Maybe my chayav Allah, when it says chayav, you thought we're killing somebody? No. We won't kill anybody that's bar on this girl, that's 3, that's ishtish. My chayav Allah diktani, carbon. Talk about a carbon. Chayav a carbon. That's it. Only chayav a carbon, not chayav means carbon. You can bring, Roiv, you'll bring a carbon for. But no means. What he talk about? The Beis says, mumsin al yada katani. It says you get killed. Not carbon, killed. Death penalty. Says the Gemara. A baalei aviyah. Yeah, that's the case. When the father's baalei. It's not an erva that comes through marriage. It's not a father-in-law. Allah no means a father-in-law. Talk about father. When baalei echad mikol haroyos katani. Yeah, I know. Can't say that. It says baalei echad mikol haroyos. One of the royals is a father-in-law. Correct? Father-in-law will be a case of a suffix. Maybe she's idleness. Maybe it's not a father-in-law. One of the royals are royals that come through marriage. And the Beis says, we will execute that individual. No, how does this work? Elach, my skin says Gemara. I have another part to you. The kibla ilavai. You know what I'm talking about? I can undo your whole question. What's your kasha? Maybe she's the islandess, and if she's the islandess, then there's it's no marriage. Who said no marriage islandess? Because of Mekach. Okay, maybe this guy said, I know the risks here. I know she may be islandess. I'm a kabbalah upon myself to marry this girl, even though she's going to be islandess. Therefore, our sugya has not come to a conclusion. Interesting Gemara. Okay? Interesting Gemara. Gemara still has a suffix here. You go with Saroiv, don't you go with Saroiv? Says the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Tarabanam. Says the Gemara, Hamma Soileles. Now we're going to have some math. Good though. Some math. Yeah? Where? He said this morning, Reb Chaim Tzvi doesn't have enough fingers. Yeah. Says the Gemara. Tarabanam, Hamma Soileles, but not cop. I give out. You have a woman that's what should we say, playing around, priestess with her son. She's with her son. This woman, married woman, a mother takes her son, and they are together. The herabah. And this child, the son, we'll see soon the age of this child, was hera into his mother. No, what's halacha? By Shama Oimrem. Shama say, okay, she is now considered a zoina. She's a zoina, even without just hera. She's a zoina. Apostle bin Akuna. She is now apostle bin Akuna. She's a zoina. And I'm sorry, if her husband's a Kohen, get divorced.
So she can't. She has to get divorced.
Yeah, and if she's the best Kohen, she'll need trauma. She's a zoina. It's still a machshirin. It's still saying no problem.
Why is it someone?
Posla. We get posla from the Kuna.
So I have a Gershon.
My Gershon, who's the father's a Kohen? Who's the father's Kohen? We're not talking about Kohen.
So if let's say the husband's his fault,
Another guy. Continue life.
nothing, and if you're kind of divorced.
Right. We're not saying that's called znus to the extent that's asal l'bayla, seems. Right? What? Cut, yeah. That's why. Oh. Very good. That's more the next line. That's the machlok. So B'Shamai say possible kuna, or Basil Machshirin still say it's okay. Amr B'Chia Breder Rabba Banachmeni Amr Chistav Amrla Amr Chista Amaziri. What age child are we talking about? What age from machlok is B'Shamai Sillel? If this would be considered a beer or not, says Rav Chista Amaziri. Akol Moedim Beben Teisha Shana B'Mechat. If the child's 9, like we said before, that is definitely considered a beer. Shebiasa beer. That's for sure considered a beer. 9 years old called a beer. No, doesn't seem so. Doesn't seem so. I'm not sure why not, actually. Not sure why not. Right? I think it's only preached. It wasn't the kavana. I don't know why not. Maybe. Pachas Mechan Ben Shmoina under 8. She'em be'asa beer. Under 8, kol alma not a beer. In Nechlaku, when did they argue? Ella ben Shmoina. They argue by 8 years old. Can an 8-year-old child do a beer? Yes or no? Yes or no? The Beis Shammai Sabri Gabrinon. The Shammai say, we learn out from previous generations that in previous generations, for sure, a kid of 8 could do a beer. Where do we see that in previous generations? Hold on. So in previous generations, that for sure wasn't the case. But still, Sabri, like Rabbeinu Medrash Shainim, they still say we don't know from previous generations. Okay, do we say things change? Like you said, David. Do we say things change? Don't bring previous generations. Yesterday was yesterday, today's today. Don't make a tushna of yesterday. Says the Gemara, V'darish Rishayim Minalan Da'ilit. Okay, can you please tell me the proof? That previous generation gave birth. The Gemara says oilet. Interesting. Yeah. If oilet is sure beer, if we're going to bring a raya, it can even give birth. Till now, we always said that even a bentes can't give birth. Now we're switching. Previous generations, the Beis Shammai, and then the Kulalma. Even a ben ches, 8-year-old guy, 8-year-old kid, can have a child, can make a woman conceive, can cause a woman to conceive. What's a raya? Oh, now you're ready for the math. There's a woman called Bathsheba. Who was Bathsheba? Bathsheba was the wife of David HaMelech. Bathsheba was the mother of Shlomo HaMelech. Bathsheba was a daughter of somebody called Bas Aliam. It's a mem, right? Don't go to Samach. Right? Okay. Bas Aliam, who was Ashes Uriachiti. Okay. This is the whole story. David HaMelech wanted Bathsheba, and they had Shlomo. Heilige Shlomo HaMelech was a son of Bathsheba, who was a daughter of Eliam. Uksiv Eliam ben Achitophel Hagiloin. And Eliam was a son of Achitophel, the famous or the infamous, we say, Achitophel. So Shlomo Melech was a Urenikel. Is the word Urenikel in English? A great grandchild. A great grandson, Achitophel. Correct? Now let's work out the math. How old was Achitophel when Shlomo Melech was 7? Great grandson. Great grandson. Says the Gemara. Let's work it out. Ksiv Yishlach biyad Nasna Navi. Yikra Shmo Yedidya. Okay. He called Shlomo Melech Yedidya. Yashem Hevoi. Good. Good. So now it's called Yedidya. Now, Ksiv, the pasuk says, V'yishon Asayim Yomim. 2 years later. That means 2 years. The lifetime of Shlomo Melech. Vayiyu Goizim L'Avshalom. Something happened with Avshalom. Ksiv. Then it says, right then, by Avshalom Barach, Avshalom ran away. He was also the son of David HaMelech from another wife. V'yelech Kishura, V'hisham Shalosh Shanim. He was there 3 years. Now, how old is Shlomo Melech now? 5. 5. He was 2 before, another 3. Uksiv, the Yesh of Shalom Yishleim, Shinasam Yomim. Avshalom stayed in Yerushalayim another 2 years. And he never went to David HaMelech. He started becoming a rebellious son. Okay. Terrible story. Terrible story. And the Chaim Shmulevitz used to go to the cave, right? Erev Hashanah of Avshalom, right? Yeah, they get the Beis. Okay, Avshalom was now, I don't know how old, but we know that Shlomo was now 7. 7. 2, 3, and 2. Okay, the pasuk says, "Vayhi mikates arboim shana." After 40 years, Yomi Avshalom el Melech el chalav Avshalom Zadora sheredat Hashem Hebron. Okay, Avshalom spoke to the king, and he went to Hebron again to Beis. Okay, now it says at this juncture in history, Achitophel gave advice, and nobody listened to his advice. Okay, vayar Achitophel ra kiloi nasa tzasoy. Didn't listen to his advice. He was furious. Not just furious. He decided that I'm not a necessary piece in the puzzle. I'm not relevant. Nobody listens to me. Therefore, he harnessed the donkey, and by Tzav el Beisoy, he wrote a will. He wrote a Tavah, and he told them goodbye. And this was a maid. Yeah. And he killed himself. Terrible person. Finished a terrible way. Achitophel. The pasuk says, "Ksiv, Anshe Domim Mirma." These people of blood and crookedness, pervertedness, they didn't reach half the lifetime. What's a lifetime of a person? 70 years old. Half? 35. 35. The Tanya. He didn't reach 35. So he reached 34. So Doyeg was 34. Doyeg. Achitophel was 33 when he died. Less. Why did he was 7. So how old was Achitophel? You tell me. 33. So was 33. How old was he when his great grandson was born? 26. Max. 26. How old? No. He was 26, and he had 4 generations. He had a son Eliam, Avshalom, Eliam, Bathsheba, Shlomo. When he was 26. 3 generations. 4 generations, right? With him. You had Eliam, Bathsheba, Shlomo. How old was he when he had Eliam? Minimum. Now the Gemara says, for the pregnancies, the 3 pregnancies over here of Eliam, Bathsheba, and Shlomo. 3 pregnancies, 9 months each. You say 7. The Gemara gives it 2 years. 2 years. How much is it? With you made Tumah, you can't become pregnant so fast. So Kama Hava. Let's work out the Gemara makes the mathematics. It's like, how much is it? 33. When he died, 33. Take off 7. Shlomo was 7. So how old was he? 26. Now, Dal Tatishni, take off 2 years for 3 pregnancies. Let's say the pregnancy of 7 months. 3, let's say, even if it's 3 times 7, 21. 21 months. 21 months plus 20. We need. You have to have months in between. Can't become pregnant so fast, right? Let's last 3 pregnancies. 3 pregnancies, because that's the minimum. It's way up to. How old was he? 24. 24. So he was 24, and he had 3 generations. So how old must he be when he had his son Eliam? 8, 16, 24. So you see, somebody has 8 can have a child. If at 24 he was Elter Zayda, at 8 he must have been a father, minimum. Yeah, we can't have Mariah for less. Max is 8. Max is 8. You want to say less? Be less. Right? Says the Gemara, Shtakach, the Chol Chad, but Tamne Oilet. And then his son was 8. He was 16 when his son had an anicle, right? And then and his son was 8 again when they had a Sheva. That's the way it worked. Says the Gemara, Yavaraya, Shtakach, the Chol Chad, but Tamne Oilet. Yavaraya, everybody has a child at 8. Says me, how do you know? Maybe everybody gets. There were 9, maybe. I doesn't stem the cheshbon. Says Gemara, Basheva lidimshis. Maybe women can give birth at 6. It's not. Maybe women are different. Maybe women can give birth earlier. I'll prove it to you. Says the Gemara, because it's a brari. Women are stronger. Tell you that. I'll prove it to you. Why? I'll prove it to you. To have a love Mekara. Bathsheba had a child before that. Bathsheba had a child prior to that. So whatever you say, she had a baby with Uriah Chiti. Died. Was it with Uriah? No, from David. No, David. Right. From David. So women can have it earlier. Steph, you lost your Uriah. You lost your proof. Good. Says the Gemara, this is the Raya. Ela told us Terach. These are sons of Terach. Terach had 3 sons. As Avram, as Noch, as Haran. Good, 3 sons. Who was the oldest? Looks like Avram. Now, 3 sons. We'll say Avram Gadol Minach Shana. He was older than Nachar. Nachar Gadol Miharan Shana. That's how we look at it. Year apart. So Avram was older than Haran. How much? 2 years. When Avram Avinu was 2, Haran was born. Avram Gadol Mishtei Shana Miharan. Oksiv. Yikach Avram and Nachar Nash. Who was Avram Avinu's wife? The Heilige Baba Sarah. Pasuk says Avram took a wife called Yiska. Honor Yitzchak, Yiska Zusara, Yiska Sarah. Lamanik Shema Yiska wife called Yiska. Shesoicha Brucha Kodesh. She had Brucha Kodesh. Okay, but she is the daughter of Haran. By the Chsiv, call Hashatoim Lecha Sarah Shema Bekoila. Whenever Sarah says, you listen, because she had greater Ruach Kodesh than her husband, than Avram Avinu. Everybody looks at her beauty. No. How old was Sarah when she gave her? Which we know. What age difference was there between Avram and Sarah? Avram Avinu fell on his face and he says, "Could I be 100 to have a child? Could Sarah be 90? Kamakash Avram Sarah. How much older was Avram more than Sarah? 10 years. How much was he older than Haran? 2 years. So how old was Haran when Sarah was born? Equals 8. Get it, Dov? Shtakach ki older Haran and Sarah, but Tamna. When he gave birth 8. So who said? Said, well, that's not a weak ride. Dilma Avram Zutma Dachiabe. Maybe Avram was youngest. Who said he was oldest? Why is Avram mentioned first? Because he's the chashivist. He's the smartest. And he said the order of the chachma. Teda the gechashiv kra derech chachmasan. The I'll prove to you. The Torah says such a order. The Chsiv he Noach ben chamesh me'es shana. Noach was 500 years old. Yoda Noach has Shemes chaves yafes. Who was the oldest? You tell me also. Shem gadol micham shana. Cham gadol miyafes shana. You'll say Shem was the oldest. Names of Shem gadol miyafes shtei shanim. Because Shem cham yafes. You'll say Shem was older than Yafes 2 years. Except that can't be. Except the Noach ben Sheish Beis Shana. Noach was 600 years. The Mabel came. Okay. And it says the Eila told us Shem. How old was Noach when he had these children? If you say that Shem was first, then Noach was 500 when he had Shem. Right? And it says the pasuk the Eila told us Shem ben Ma'as Shana, and he had Arpachshad 2 years after the Mabel. 2 years after the Mabel, he had a Pachshad, and he was 100. 1 second. It should be 102. Should be 102, correct? If Noach was 500 when he gave birth to Shem Cham Yafes, we say Shem's the oldest. So Noach was 500 when he gave birth. When the time the Mabel came, how old was Shem? 100. 100 years later. Because Noach was 600 by the Mabel. So 2 years after that, it should be 102. And Amai, Shem was not the oldest. And the Derech HaChmazik, it's first. Yeah, it's first for another reason. Derech HaChmazik Gechashelu. The Torah records that the order of the Chachma. HaChadam Derech HaChmazik Gechashelu. We say that we have the Chachma. No Raya. Let's find another Raya. Amrav Kana, Mitla Shvaida Kana, Zved, Nata, Amani At Nachabas, this is, Anon Hachmas Dinada, this is my Raya. He said, Lushem Yurad Yamhu, Avi Kobane Eva, Chiyef Sagadu. Yefes, Agadu Shve'echlaba. I have another Raya that Yefes was older. Good. So Adam and okay, where's the Raya? Time to get Parsha. So where's the Raya that in the olden days they can have children from when they're 8? He said, Betzalel ben Uri ben Cholim Yehuda. Betzalel was the son of Uri, son of Chur. Kseva Thomas Hazuva Eshes Kalev. Yikech like Kalev is Ephras. Kalev was the father of Chur. Kalev was the father of Chur, which is the elder Zeda of Betzalel. Betzalel ben Uri ben Chur, then Kalev. She'av Betzalel Mishkan. When Betzalel worked in the Mishkan, how big was he? How did he get Parasha? By Kamahava? He was 13. Betzalel was 13. Was Chur alive? Ish Melachta Hashem Oisen. Ish. He had to be 13. Okay, so Betzalel was 13. He was the son of Uri, son of Chur, son of Kalev. Tadia Shadr Shoina Asa Moish Mishkan. The first year Moish made a Mishkan. Shnia Hakim. Second year Hakim Mishkan Shadach Meraglim. Second year they built the Mishkan, sent Meraglim. Kalev was 40 when he was sent to Alta Meraglim. Kalev ben Yifuna. No, how old was he then? So he was 14. Now how old was Betzalel when he was 40? He was 40 when he was a Meraglim. Kalev ben Yifuna. How old was Betzalel then? It's a year after building the Mishkan. He was 14. What's 40 minus 14? What? 26. Right? 26. Same cheshbon. And he had an Urenkel. He had an Urenkel when he was 26. Same. What? Same. Take up 2 years for pregnancies. Who? Same. Exactly the same. But yeah, the cheshbon. Betzalel, ben Uri, ben Chur, ben Kalev. 8 years old. He was 8, must be 8 when he gave birth to Chur. He was 8. Kalev ben Yifuna was 8 when he gave birth to Chur. And Chur was 8 when he gave birth to Uri. Uri was 8. Betzalel. And Betzalel, this week's parasha, has a sacred task of building the Mishkan. And he was only 13 years old. Why do you have to be 13? It's told us about that, right? You have to do the Shema. Kid's not the Shema. Called the Shema. So Kama Havalahu, how old was he? Tata Dalsh didn't take off 2 years. Class Burai, 3 pregnancies is minimum. 2 years, 3 pregnancies. Each one gave birth at 8. That's clear. So the olden days, they for sure gave birth at 8. Boys only had to be 8 to cause the women to conceive. That's for sure. But the shaylas will happen later. Now, the few the Gemara before, they went the other direction. That it's, as we said, now you have to be not only 9, you have to be 13. When change the Matthias. Let's go to the Mishnah. Ben V'lebas. Ben Soyer Moira is only a boy, not a girl. Tani Amrav Shimon. But then who really should make sense? Should take Bas Ru'alias Ben Soyer Moira. Really, a girl would make sense. She should be a Ben Soyer Moira or a Bas Soyer Moira. Why? Because there's more of a chashash. Girls should have a way to make money easier than men. I give out. Yeah, this is unfortunately Matthias. You know, if she's short of money, she has a way to make money. Girls have a way to make money. So really, it makes sense to kill her because if she's going to go after, she's a type of girl that has tivers for meat and wine, and she's going to go astray. She won't have her money. She'll make her money through znus. Alex Zera is a Kosovo who Ben Bas. Yeah, Zera is a Kosovo. Nothing to do about it. Zera is a Kosovo Ben Bas. Morgan learn about Ben Sarah Moy with himself in Siyat Ishmael. Oh, thank you, Gershon. See you. It's called. Yeah.